It's that damn cuckoo clock, man. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Audio Judo. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Kyle.
And this is your podcast of music discovery. Proud members of the Pantheon Podcast Network, your premier source of music, entertainment, movie podcasts. Besides this podcast, which is currently recording episode number 158, we also produce two other podcasts, Audio Judo Does Jazz and Throughline. You can find both of those podcasts on Pantheon as well, or on our website, audiojudo.com, or anywhere that podcasts are podcasts. Kyle.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Matthew.
So here we are. You all right? Mm-hmm. Audio Judo. We're always looking for new ways to reach a wider audience. And since we recently shut down our Twitter page because it's a shit show, we started a TikTok account because that's where the people are, or so I've been told.
Sure.
And I really didn't know what to do at first. You know, I don't make content for 15-year-olds. I don't know.
Yeah.
So my wife suggested that I record some music reviews when I go on my walks in the morning. And I thought, well, that's a cool idea. I do like to walk and I do like to talk. So that'd work. So
we're well aware of how much you like to talk.
I do. Oh, yeah. So I listened to a record a few weeks ago and recorded a blurb about it as I was walking and posted it and tagged the band's TikTok page just for the hell of it. Because I think that's what people are supposed to do. I don't know. And when you know it, 10 minutes later, within like 10 minutes, they had responded to me, which I'm like, wow, social media, it works.
Yeah.
So I reached out, and here we are. Ladies and gentlemen of Audio Judo, we are pleased to welcome in the Nashville rock band Echo Pilot.
Hey! Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. How are you guys doing? Everything good over there in Nashville?
Everything's good. We just had rehearsal, so we're gearing up to go on the road here next weekend. So it's looking forward to it, man.
Nice. That's fun.
Yeah.
So if you could just go down the row, tell me who you are and what you do in the band. Wow, that sounds so formal. It's ridiculous. Yes, please do.
My name is Ryan Van Abley. I play vocals and guitar in Echo Pilot.
Excellent.
My name is Andrew Stewart Hausman. I play bass guitar, and I do most of the big decision making, most of the big ideas. That's really my department.
Nice. So you're the Kyle of the group.
I'm Aaron Smith. I play guitar.
Nice.
I'm Dan Russell. I'm the drummer, and I make all the small decisions.
Love that. So I don't know about you guys. So just start off with a little background. So I don't know about you guys. I'm older school as well. So I used to find new music back in the day kind of by walking through my record store, my local record store. So when I'd exhausted everything my friends had to offer, or my older brother or whatever, I would walk through the music store and see. I'd basically get attracted to music based on what I saw, like album covers or names of bands, which is a little more difficult now, but something that was instantly appealing to me. So the first thing that stuck out was the name Echo Pilot. I think it's such a great name for a band because it's old school. It's, you're not trying to be a little tongue in cheek or jokey. It's simple and effective, and it's also a little vague, which I think is cool because you're not quite sure what you're going to get. So why don't you tell me about what's behind the name of the band first?
Yeah, well, with the name Echo Pilot, honestly, I wish I had a better story. I wanted it to sound cool together, like two words, like Pearl Jam or something, like Foo Fighters, like something cool, Echo obviously has to do with like sound waves and everything. So I was like, well, that kind of works with music. And then the pilot, I was just trying to find a second word that sounded cool with Echo.
Hey, that's effective.
Yeah, there was some bad names on my list. Trust me, you don't want to see the list. But we finally came up with Echo Pilot, and I was like, hey, okay, this can work, yeah, I wish it was a better story, but I was just trying to find two words that sounded good together.
Sometimes the simplest stories are the best stories.
Yeah.
I think I think the band I had in high school, we just went through a dictionary to 2 random pages and just pointed at a word randomly, and I'm like, good enough.
I didn't want it to be a Fall Out Boy song,
So how did you guys get together? Like, did you already know each other before you formed a band, or are you all just?
No, we didn't know each other before we formed the band. This band has seen a few formations. It originally started in 2018, and I'm actually the only original member left in the band. But I met Aaron through just like a mutual. He was playing with another band, and I just remembered that he was a shredder and he had good guitars and he looked cool and he could really shred. So I finally, while we were looking for new guitarists and stuff, I decided to hit him up, and I'm glad I remembered the name. And we have the similar influences and everything. Sure. And met him just through Instagram DMs, and then he came to a tryout and killed it. So and then Dan and I met through just like a mutual friend of ours, and she recommended him to come and try out for the band. And within the first tryout, we were like, okay. Right. I think Drew could vouch for, like, we were like, okay, this is pretty badass. He lays it down.
It was nice. So I joined about a year before these two joined, and I remember when I first auditioned with an older lineup, thinking like, oh shit, okay, this is really something, and then having that same feeling during both of their tryouts. We're like, okay, we're really touching on something here, which is because we've all been in a lot of bands. We all know what it's like when things don't quite line up, when things don't quite out, and it just right off you were saying, it has not been that at all.
Yeah,
thank God.
And I will say, like, honestly, like, this is the band. Like, we're best friends. Like, the chemistry is just like, I don't know. I've never felt like something like this with a group of guys, before. And I feel like getting through in the past, like through previous lineups, like I feel like there was a reason for that to finally like get to this point where it's us four that are so committed and have the same goals and what we want to do with this band. So like, I'm just so grateful for everybody. So
aww. Especially you guys.
Kyle, go ahead.
Oh no, please go ahead. I don't want to step all over you. So go ahead. Oh, that was my entire middle. That was my entire middle school.
I'm sorry.
I did not. Okay. I'm having flashbacks. Oh God. No. That was that South Park. I lined up just perfectly. That South Park was literally on the air during its golden age during my middle school years. So I remember coming into school and I had not seen the episode with the song Kyle's Mom is a Big Fat Bitch the night before. And I remember the day coming into school and just everybody is like, hey, how's your big fat bitch of a mom? And I'm like, what is going on? Why are you guys doing this to me? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, it's a song that was on South Park last night. It's like, oh, cool. Awesome. This is gonna be great for the next 6 to 8 months. Cool. But
6 to 8 years.
6 to 8, 60 to 80 years, more likely known South Park. But yeah, so I guess I love to hear that you guys are actually not only good band members, you fit together, you feel good together, and that you're friends. Where do you want to go with it? I guess is a good question. Where do you guys want to take that feeling and express yourselves with it? That's kind of a weird question, but
No,
It's a good question, Kyle.
Yeah. Straight to the moon.
Yeah. Honestly, like, we just love music and we love playing music, right? So I think we want a lot of people to hear our music. You know, we're just trying to spread, you know, positivity with it and just true authenticity. And we're normal dudes that just like to rock out and write rock songs, you know. So as many people as possible that can come to the party, we would love that, honestly.
And I think I speak for all four. We all like to quit our jobs and just
Yeah.
do this, you know.
Yeah.
We'd like to be full time.
It'd be nice, but
I was going to ask if you guys are, if you have day jobs as well, basically.
yes,
3 of us do. He's a full time musician.
that's true.
Mhm.
That is
Nice.
true.
Aspiring to be Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We're all aspiring to be Aaron, who's the full time musician of the group. But yeah, we all do jobs right now, and you know, just we're doing everything we can to put our time and energy into the band too. So
So with this lineup, is Notion the second full album with the band?
it is.
Okay.
Yes, this is a full length record.
Yeah, because the first thing I heard was No Surrender. I think that was the first thing that like popped up into my feed kind of randomly. You know how Spotify does. You know, basically I'm listening to. I think I was listening to either Jimmy Eat World, yeah, Futures, or I was listening to something Foo Fighters-y, and
Really?
all of a sudden it's like, you would like this, and I'm like, I probably would like this, and so
Right on, man.
yeah, so
Really
I listened
cool.
to it, and I'm like, oh, I like it a lot. So my son, who also he hosts one of the other podcasts, is usually the kid I bounce my music tastes off of just to see where I'm at. And I'm like, have you heard this before? And he's like, no. So I sent it to him, and he's like it. I'm like, he's very succinct. So I'm like, okay, cool. So when it was end of February, right? I'm going for a walk, and that pops up because I had listened to No Surrender. It pops up as, hey, new release for this. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. And yeah, right away, like the first track is just the syncopation stuff. Just I'm kind of a sucker for that stuff. So as Kyle will tell you,
yeah.
I love
But
that.
hey, yeah, like we put a lot of time and energy into Notion, and I definitely think it's like an album of maturity with songwriting and just like growth, and you know, finding our niche. I think, you know, as a band, and you know, we're always evolving in our songwriting, which is cool. So
That's interesting because I have that in my notes because I saw it in the liner notes for the record that there's just a sentence at the bottom that says this is an album of growth and maturity. So what exactly did you mean by that?
Personally, because I'm the lyricist, right, and you know, I kind of came up like with the concept of the title. You know, a lot has just happened in the last few years where like I feel like my ideas and my spirituality and, you know, just maturing as a person has evolved, you know, as my frontal lobe has formed a little more. So and it's just like, yeah, musically too, just like an album of growth, you know, as I've become more comfortable in my own skin. And I think it kind of relates to everybody here, obviously. You know, as we've grown as a band and stuff, and the idea behind the title is like, you know, Notion's obviously like an idea or like a belief. You know, as my beliefs keep and ideas and hunches keep evolving as a person. So,
No, that's awesome. And kudos to, I don't know if it was one of you guys or whoever did the album cover. Because
thank you.
Because that's the whole point. That's what I was alluding to before. That's the kind of record that even walking through a record store would have caught my attention just because, well, I mean, it's bold. It's so green that, you know, like there's albums that I know of back 35 years. Like the very first time I saw Fear by Toad the Wet Sprocket, you know, they had the jewel box in the store, and it's so just distinctly yellow, and I just stopped in my tracks like, what is that? Which is exactly what I would have done with this record. if I had been walking by and been like, oh, so I got to listen to this.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, that's actually my wife, Chloe. She does the album art, and like she's done our logo, and she does the graphic design for our website and everything. Like she has put so much time and energy, just, along with myself, with this band, which is really really cool to have that branding and everything. And like her expertise is amazing. But she goes by Chloe Briz is her artist name. Artist.
Okay.
What?
Artiste.
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 Her artist name.
In the intro, we were joking about I'm the big idea man and he's a smart. No, really, it's Ryan and Chloe are the idea people.
Everybody comes to the table with great ideas, and no matter how big or small or medium sized.
You want to take a look at
I
it?
did.
You have it, Randy? Hold on. Just put it up.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
I love.
I'm glad that like it stood out to you as far as the color went, because like I felt like green. I've never really seen that on an album cover like that.
Exactly, and I think that's why it's so effective.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're really proud of it, and we're still writing, so we're excited about the next chapter of it all.
I do wonder if there's a reason for that. Like if there's like a practical, like, oh, don't use green because it's more expensive or something. Like a lot of times we've found in the world of design, there's like these weird things where they're like, oh, we changed the design and made it like 25% more like blue or something because it's cheaper to print that or whatever. But I'd be curious to know if it's like if green turned out to be more expensive traditionally or something like that. But
and that's why
I did notice
as much green.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's real expensive to print that or something. But I did notice that you guys do have a vinyl pressing of it available on your merch store. That's pretty cool. What was that process like? I mean, in an all modern digital world, I got to imagine there's got to be a lot of work that goes into actually getting a vinyl pressing of an album like this.
We didn't do much of it, if I'm honest. we recorded the songs and the artwork. Chloe did the artwork and all that. And then we just kind of shopped around.
CD Baby.
Yeah, someone emailed us.
Yeah, artist friend of ours who went through them for CDs and vinyls of her own.
Yeah.
Sent Jay Rin, shout out to her.
Yes.
Check out her stuff. She sent us the information on CD Baby and going through them, and it was
that was it, because they sent us an email like a year and a half ago with a deal. That was a really good deal, and we were like, well, we're not really ordering vinyl, but
too good to be true.
We'll keep it in mind. And then I remembered it, and I went back through it, and I sent it to you guys, and you were like, on their homepage was Jay Rin. You were like, oh shit, I know her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just had a super quick turnaround with everything too, and it was reasonably priced, and the quality is really nice, honestly. And yeah, we got 100 of them to start off with, and I mean, I've never had vinyl press. With the first record, we had CDs, but like having a big vinyl, like, and just seeing the art, and like you put so much time into it. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's nice too because it's like kind of what you were saying, Kyle, with like going through that process in like a digital, the digital modern world, to have that like tangible art in your hands. I don't know. I don't want to say it's necessarily feels more authentic, but I think it does matter in terms of the connection to the audience and to the listener to have that the whole artwork right in front of them in their hand. I think it adds to the whole going back. I guess it's kind of like going backwards to go forward in a sense, like going back to those times when like that's what you did. Everybody had vinyl. Like, that's
exactly.
what you did.
Kyle and I talk about this all the time about he's like, why do you remember lyrics that well? And why do you remember this? And I said, well, because my youth was spent with headphones on in front of my stereo with the record and the liner notes and the sleeve that had the lyrics on it over and over and over again. And that was the prize. That was the tangible evidence of this is what I'm listening to right now. Where now it's like it's so out there. You could find it if you wanted to, you can go to Discogs and find or All Music and find the credits, but this
Mhm.
was always so present in my life. Like my parents' record racks, my brother's record rack, my record rack was like um, these were tangible like prizes that we treasured, and I still do. I have I have a wall of vinyl because it means something, because it was how we listened to music, and so having something like that is so valuable, and it sticks in my head more. There's so much music that I listen to that I forget about because I don't spend time with it like I spend time with vinyl. So yeah, it
Yeah.
makes a difference to me.
It's more precious when it's on vinyl for some reason. Yeah,
Turns
totally.
it into an experience. Like makes the music
Yeah.
an entire experience.
It makes you actually sit down and listen to it in order as it was supposed to be too. You know, you're not
Right.
just on
Yeah.
Spotify.
Right.
You've been doing that.
We talk about that too, running order, like the
Yeah.
running order of an album, and
Yeah.
pacing and how that works, and how I don't just get an album on Spotify and hit the shuffle button because that's not what was intended. Like I
Mhm.
listen to it in order because the artist put it in order for a reason. So yeah, it's
A big reason too why we wanted to put out a full length record is because the four of us, we grew up listening to full albums. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I would go into FYE or Best Buy or whatever and buy CDs. I'm a millennial, so I bought CDs.
Yeah. We're all
You know, I picked up American Idiot and like I picked up whatever, you know, like Yellow Card.
Can we talk about the waterfall thing and our beef with that?
Go ahead.
All right. So, are y'all familiar with the waterfall method of releasing?
No.
never heard that before.
This is a thing that is apparently the way to do it these days, which is you continuously release singles. You don't really release albums or EPs. You just release single after single after single, right?
Mhm.
And it's like a waterfall that it's like a never-ending stream of content.
Okay.
And we have some people in our lives who have strongly recommended we do that, and we've talked about it pretty seriously. But every time we talk about it, the conversation ends with, "But we don't want to do that. Shit. We want to make that is not fulfilling at all to us."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that's why we wanted to release the record, you know, like
Right.
just I don't know, like early in the year, like we did a few singles, right, for a couple of weeks and like push those. I think the singles are obviously still important. You want to pinpoint songs that you know you want people to hear 1st,
Mhm.
but yeah, like I don't know, we just always grew up listening to albums, and
Mhm.
we want full length, you know, pieces of work, pieces of
Yeah,
art
right.
to promote.
100%.
The promotion does not stop after you release it. You know, promoting it, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play on the road. We're gonna be road dogs.
Old school rock and roll.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about a few of the songs on the record. I asked you chose 4 for me, and the first one you chose was "Above the Skies." So tell me a little bit about this song, if you could.
Yeah, I wrote this song after the passing of Taylor Hawkins of Foo Fighters. You know, all of us loved the Foos growing up, and some of us are like super fans. I would say the 3 out of the 4.
Yeah,
You
right.
like the Foos.
I like
but,
Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
We're nerds.
Yeah.
Well, Drew likes them. I'm a super fan, and then Aaron and Ryan are super
They're-
fans.
Yeah. So when Taylor passed, I mean, like that just struck me so hard. Like I was gutted, absolutely, because like you felt like you knew him personally, like because I would always just watch them play live. Like I'd seen him play live so many times, and watching interviews and just him talking, and just like he seemed like such a good person too that I could relate to. So yeah, writing that song, it was just like an ode to him, and just like honoring him and his life, and how he has inspired so many musicians to pick up their instrument and play, you know. So that's this, guys. That's the just honoring him and just realizing, you know, music is this is the shit.
Nice.
Well said, brother.
That's funny, and he was everybody's best friend. Like that is not a myth. So I work at a theater in Las Vegas, and they played our theater 3 months before he passed, and
Really?
he's everybody's best friend, and it's not a joke. He talked to everybody. He went up to security guards. He was everybody's pal.
Yeah.
And you felt it, and you didn't feel like there's other artists that come through, and you could tell it's forced. They're trying really hard to be the every person, but he was it was genuine, and you could tell it was genuine. And yeah, we found out about that as we were about to start another show, and like the control room was like pin drop. We were all like looking at each other like, okay, is it April? Is this a joke? This can't be a joke, right? It was weird. Yeah.
It really was. And it inspired me to like play music again to write that song, because like I went through like a little rut, which was kind of in hindsight crazy. Like I was thinking, oh, I don't want to play music anymore. Like one of my heroes he's gone now, and you get down in the dumps and you start thinking those things, but like eventually you get yourself out of that, and you're like, you know what, he would want me to keep playing music and pursuing my passion. So every time we play it, it's like, okay, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah. So let's listen to a piece of it right here. Hey, there we are. So yeah, definitely some Foo Fighter vibes there, for sure.
Yeah, maybe just a little
what
bit.
do you mean?
Slightly.
Those guys suck.
But yeah, of course, yeah. I grew up listening to them, and Dave, like his songwriting and his structure and stuff, kind of taught me how to write songs. Wasting Light was a big record for me.
What a great record! Absolutely fantastic record.
It was such a formative record for me, because that was right around the time I was like writing my own stuff finally for the first time. I was about 17 when that record came out, and it just taught me how to write a rock song, so I always like go back to that record and be like, just cut the bullshit, don't bore us, it's the chorus. Yeah, absolutely. And we thought that was a good first single. It's that's you can sing and hum along to it.
So that excuse me, sorry. So definitely Foo Fighters was an influence on you. You would talk about some of your other influences, like growing up.
Yeah, other than Foos, I was a big Led Zeppelin fan. My dad always had the Zeppelin records on. It was his favorite band, so I was just kind of naturally drawn to that. I had The Song Remains the Same on DVD, and How the West Was Won, like Royal Albert Hall, 1970, like just incredible. And Jimmy Page, he's still like my favorite guitarist, so that's a huge influence. Green Day's a big one. I grew up with Green Day and stuff. American Idiot came out in 2004 and during my formative preteen years. So that was a great record. Sonically sounds amazing. What about
y'all? In this band, I'm kind of just copying you, but in this band, the bassist that I copied the most would be John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin and Mike Dirnt of Green Day. But just generally, Beatles are probably my favorite band, so that's like wired into my DNA. A lot of Motown stuff.
Nice.
With like the relationship between drums and bass. A lot of good stuff there.
I would say AC/DC was the reason I started playing guitar. So they've they've been a big band to me, but also Zeppelin runs deep in this band.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna hear that a lot.
So Zeppelin and Jimmy Page, but I'm also into Eric Clapton and Cream, some blues rock stuff as well.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, like a broken record, Led Zeppelin. I was riding around. I think when I first decided I wanted to play drums, it was in like either fifth or sixth grade. I was riding around in my dad's old like Lincoln Town car, one of the like it had the freaking like phone, like car phone in it. It was one of those. It was like driving like a big boat basically, and we were riding around in it. And he put on Zeppelin 4, but it was. I don't know why it didn't start. It wasn't Black Dog. For some reason. I think he was already listening to it. So when I got in, he hit play and it was Rock and Roll that started.
Okay.
And just that drum part, the intro drum part, and the drums throughout, it just sounded so massive in the car stereo. And the drum fill outro as well. It's so iconic. John Bonham's easily my number one drumming influence, but as far as like, so that's kind of what got me in the mindset of drumming and getting into music, but also, you know, Foos. I'm a huge Muse fan as well. Muse,
Okay,
I
yeah.
love really big anthemic, operatic, like the theatricality of it too. I've seen them a couple of times, just like the whole thing is a spectacle.
Yep.
They can flat out play too. They're not hiding behind the lights and the lasers and all that stuff. So I've always respected bands like that. And I was a massive pop punk fan in high school, like the Blink-182, Sum 41, getting into Jimmy Eat World as well, like groups like that. And really big on like Rage Against the Machine too, was a really formative band for me.
And yeah,
Team Audio Slave.
You're saying all the bands that I've
I like. I love those bands. I'm just messing.
Yeah, so like that was all really for. And I grew up in a house that really appreciated music too. So my mom and dad had a great record and CD collection, and my mom oftentimes, like on a Sunday, when we would have like a family dinner or whatever, when it's nice out, she'd have the windows open and be like, you know, blasting like great music on the stereo. Typically it was like Rolling Stones, Allman Brothers Band, like Eat a Peach was probably played to death in our house.
Great.
So like it was kind of the record collection and CD collection in our house was kind of an embarrassment of riches in terms of rock royalty and incredible music.
That's awesome. Yeah, I grew up in a family of drummers, so I cut my teeth on rock and roll, Bonham's rock and roll. That was like a huge thing. It was a rite of passage to play that opening.
Yep.
Like it was such a huge deal. Like once you got it, you're like, oh shit, I did it.
Okay.
I don't know that I could do it again, but I did it.
Okay. So what beat does it start on? I'm asking both of you. What beat does it start on?
Isn't it it's like the
Like
third
It's three. It's three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's he's copying off of I forget the song,
Chuck
but I'm
Berry,
pretty
right?
sure it's isn't it Little Richard?
Oh, Little Richard.
Yeah, Little Richard song.
Really? I didn't know that.
That dribble part. It's like a snare drum dribble, but it's the end of three.
Right.
Everybody in Nashville, there's the Broadway Strip. That's like our big tourist hub, like Lower Broadway. There's bars and venues all over the place. Music, 7 days a week.
24/7.
Yeah, 10 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool, honestly. Like it gets a bad rep, and like for a lot of reasons, there's reasons why for sure, but like also as someone who's played on it, Aaron still plays on it. It's a great opportunity to have something like that in our own backyard. I say all that to say, rock and roll. Whenever rock and roll is played down there, it does irk me because most drummers, not all of them, but most drummers will start it on the one.
No.
And that's not what is happening right now.
So yeah, I actually had that question later, but what's the, like, Nashville's a country town in your head, in my head. That's what you think of Nashville as a country town. But what is the rock scene like comparatively to the
Oh,
country scene there?
honestly, like the rock scene here is awesome. There's
Is it?
so many good rock bands. Yeah.
That's why I moved here. I moved towards the end of 2017, November 2017. I had visited a couple times prior, and that's what hooked me because I never got into country music. Like, I think Johnny Cash and some of like the Highwaymen were like the only country I ever listened to growing up. Beyond that, like, I had no interest in country. And so it was a bit ironic that I ended up in Nashville. But, but the reason why is because I would come down, I was like, no, it's not the country music capital. It's the music capital.
Yeah.
There's everything here. And
Everything.
the rock scene is fantastic in this town.
Yeah. You can.
In my experience, it's the scenes are less about genre and more about like goals, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
There's very much the Broadway scene, which is like playing 4-hour cover sets, multiple nights a week.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the sort of like indie original scene, which we're very much a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's sort of the like high-end session scene, which
Yeah,
is
that's
sort
like
of intangible, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's like something that's like out of sight, out of mind.
Right, exactly.
Like those are like the cats that are head and shoulders
Yeah,
better
right.
than everybody, and it's like 6 people putting out all the records.
Right,
Prolific.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you go anywhere. You can go to a jazz club. You can go to a rock show. Go see a hip hop show. Like, inclusiveness is huge here.
Mhm.
Cool.
Kyle,
Absolutely.
You got a question there?
No. Do I have like a questioning look on my face sometimes?
Yes.
Because you. Okay,
Yes, you
no,
do.
I do not at the moment.
We don't.
Sorry.
And you guys don't get to see my questioning look, so I'm sorry.
I'm picturing
So moving on to the second track, Gonna Be. So
Uh-huh.
I love this song. And maybe I say that a lot because I probably do. But I wouldn't be listening to it if I didn't love it. But there's and there's so many good things to love about this record. So this has a great I want like 90s alternative vibe to it. Like middle 90s. You remember all those grunge records that we all loved so much, and they almost felt like they needed to put one kind of softer song on it. It's kind of gives me that vibe to it. And I used to call those songs, I still do with Kyle, I call those songs palate cleansers because they're like a welcome little break from everything really loud.
Mhm.
And not to say that this song isn't great loud, because it is. It's just it's definitely softer
Yeah.
than a lot of the other tracks.
Absolutely. I think as a band, we like to write a variety of songs that are dynamically different. Whether it's a soft rock song, a pop rock song, heavier punk rock song, just all across the board. There's no boundaries in this band, which is awesome. And we always like, just having like a softer side that's, more melodic and stuff. And that's definitely that song. But yeah, wrote that song when it was just I was going through some hard times. My wife and I, we were working, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. where I had a 2000 Buick Century, and we were the power steering was out of it, and we were driving 45 minutes I dropped her off 45 minutes away. I would drive another like 20 minutes to the other side of town to work, like 7 to 4. Go drive all the way back south to pick her up, and then we'd stay in traffic for another hour, and like we would just be so tired at the end of the day. But like, it's corny. We had our love throughout all of it. It's a love song. It's a definite love song, and feel sentimental for those times for sure, and getting through and persevering through it.
Yeah,
I love that
Go ahead.
the details of your car are like integral to the backstory.
It is. It's huge.
You have to know that the power steering.
Yeah. Sorry, you just had to know.
Those details sell the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should have added it to the lyrics.
Right.
Well, let's give it a listen. What does it sound like?
Wouldn't trade a thing. I have no regrets. Though times were stressed, it was still you and me. Up before the sunrise, driving down I-65, barely able to open up our eyes.
It's awesome.
Much.
Thanks.
I will say, I think this is probably my favorite song on the album. I agree with Matthew. It's nice that it slows it down a little bit, but it still has that same feel to it. It still fits really well in the album where it exists. And palate cleanser, I think, is a really good term for it, because there's a lot building up to it, and then it kind of pulls you back. It slows you down. It gives you a minute to breathe, and then it lets you finish out the album. It's nice.
Thank you so much for that. That really means a lot. We were proud of that one, writing that one. Drew is the music theory guy in the band, and I threw in some chords. I was like, "How you like that, Drew?" What was it? Is it called 7?
That's an E major 7.
Yeah, there's an E major 7 in there, so
Fancy.
Threw
If
one of
it were
those
an
in there.
E7, the 7 would be minor.
Yeah.
The 7 is major.
so, yeah. When I went to show Drew that, I was like, "What do you think? You like that one?"
No, well, you guys, calling it a palate cleanser. I think I've told the story before. Before these two joined, actually the first run of out of town dates I did with Echo Pilot, the first night was in Atlanta, and we were the first band on the bill. We didn't know any of the other bands. We didn't know anyone there. Y'all have heard our songs. We're loud. We scream a little bit. We jump around, right? It was, and there was a not quite a tension, but like a feeling in the room of like people were kind of like leaning back a bit. You know what I mean? And then we played Gonna Be, and you could just feel the whole room relax. And I remember people like literally taking steps up to the stage the rest of the show, and like people were smiling and dancing and like singing along, and like something about that song, people were like, "Oh no, these guys, they're not here just to yell at us.
They're safe."
Right, yeah, they're like, it was, I don't know. It's just, and so that song is very, very important to all of us, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's got the best solo on the album too.
Yeah.
That's my personal favorite for in terms of all the guitar work on the record. I think it's got the best guitar solo.
I wrote that down because that guitar solo. Which one of you plays that guitar solo? Which one?
It's a friend of ours named Ethan Sims, who actually used to be in the band. That solo was always, a staple whenever he was in the band, and I was like, you know what, I want him to record that because it just like, I don't know. Obviously, it speaks to people. So
and he wrote it,
and he wrote it. Yeah.
Y'all can both play that solo, but like the fact that he wrote it was,
Yeah.
It's a beautiful solo. It really is.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we had him featured on there to do that because it just felt right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Wise guys? Wise
guys. Wise
guy.
Is it wise guy, right?
Wise guy, yeah. Singular.
Okay.
Only one. Only one guy is allowed to be wise.
Yeah, the rest of us are very normal squares. There's one guy. You determine who's the wise guy.
And this just kind of steers you right back to that loud, that rock and roll bar sound. That's
Come here. Wake up.
Yeah, we slowed you down. Now we're gonna hit you in the face.
Totally. I think we recorded 5 different guitar tracks on that song. A lot of guitars, a lot of crunchiness.
Only 5?
Yeah,
Oh, only 5?
there's 25. Yeah. That's-
Back in the studio.
That one is actually one of the oldest songs. I wrote that back in like 2019, at least like the concept or like the idea of the instrumental of it. I liked it because it was just like super punky and punchy. Yeah, it's just one of those two that like is super singable too, like within the chorus where people can dance around and, you know, chant the part, which I always like. You know, I like when people sing with us. It's a sense of community. And yeah, honestly, like the song, it's a fun song, you know, no frills, just no BS rock.
This is what it sounds like.
The human race is getting out of hand. We're sitting first, that's sporadic. You're feeling like you want to start a fight. Take it easy, man, the sinews tight. Down to brass tacks. Better think fast. I can see right through your dishonest eyes. A simple case of verbal suicide. Set the story straight, I'm gonna lose my mind. Why, guy? Why,
Why is that stuck with you so much?
Yeah. Oh man, it punches you in the face a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love it. Sometimes you need to get punched in the face, right, Kyle?
Yeah. It has a little bit of, I mean, let's be fair here. I've only been punched in the face once. So,
What?
yeah.
I know, right?
You would think, oh, you guys can't see me, so you don't know how punchable my face is, but it's very punchable. It's like it just screams at people like hit me. So the fact that it's only happened once is pretty impressive.
Hi.
I'm pretty sure that's why you moved to LA.
Yeah. Can we
Now I
not
can't
see
punch
you
him.
because you got punched in the face like yesterday? Is
I
that
got a big swollen eye right now. And I was like, don't put me on camera. Don't,
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
it's audio only. I've got a big slab of beef on one eye right now. Like an old cartoon character just trying to, get the swelling down. But like, this one does give me a little bit of like a Metallica vibe as well.
Sweet.
Ooh.
Are you guys pulling some influence from there as well, from like the metal side of things?
Oh yeah, I mean Metallica. I grew up listening to Metallica. I went through a huge phase where it was just only Metallica, and I was just down picking the whole time, and my forearms were as strong as ever. They're weaker now.
It wasn't Saint Anger, was it?
Yeah, my favorite record.
I love
That's my
that snare
favorite.
so much.
The snare sound is amazing.
Right? It's the best snare sound. It's a trash can, just hitting a trash can all the time.
They're huge influences for sure. I love Metallica, so thank you for that. Really means a lot. Yeah, it's just again, like I said, it's just a fun song to play, and it's gritty.
That was a fun one to do. We have a music video for that one too. I don't know if you all were able to check that out or not.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love making music videos. I love doing that process, and it was just so fun. The team that we had as well to work on it was
props to Johnny and
incredibly professional. They work in film and TV, so they obviously know what they're doing. It made our lives super easy. It was just like, all right, you want us here, you want us to do that, great, cool. And it was a lot of fun.
It was a blast. Yeah, it was hot as could be.
Very hot.
But
Yeah, the house party scenes we filmed at a buddy's house in like the dog days of August, and it was brutally hot in that room. I feel so bad for all the friends of ours that we had to come do it, but we had had booze and extracurriculars and whatnot there, so it was
It was a good time.
it was a good time.
We had fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
So the last one you picked was Escape, and this one is my favorite song on the album.
Oh, thanks.
Nice.
For
man.
sure.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this song.
Yeah, honestly, I think you could attest to this too. It's like when we were writing that song, I didn't love it at first. I had the vision for it, like I had all the guitar parts like that I wanted, and I had the vision, but for some reason, I think I changed the lyrics to it during the middle of creating the song, so that helped big time. But yeah, it's like the newest song that we wrote on the record, and yeah, it's something I'm really proud of, just simply from the standpoint of, writing a bunch of different like guitar parts and layers and making it real atmospheric, and just like making it a vibe and stuff. And yeah, I love that song, and it's just about growing older, and still having that youth within yourself. You still have that kid-like feeling here and there, but all of a sudden you're 30 years old and showing up for yourself.
Or 52.
Or 40.
Well, but yes, of course, yeah. It doesn't matter what the age is. You still feel youthful sometimes,
Yes, not in the morning.
Take a cup of coffee, you'll be all right.
So these, first of all, these songs, they sound great in my car at full volume, as they should.
Nice.
Like, that's the whole point. I got a 30-minute commute to work, put this on, it sounds so great in my car at full volume. But it sounds so great in a really good set of headphones, which, again, is a lost art. So the mix it's very full. It's super well done. Who did the mix for the record?
Yeah, huge props to Brian David Harden is his name. He's out of LA. Met him through a mutual friend. He's worked on like 120 gold or platinum records, which is crazy. He's worked with like Tenacious D, Guns N' Roses. He's worked with Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
He's worked with, like, I mean, if you go to his website, there's just like so many like great artists, and he was so thorough with the process too. He was like, ask your bandmates like what your references are for this, like what you want this album to sound like what do you want the guitar tones to sound like in this song. Give me references for like every little minute detail, which was so good.
He also, this is my favorite, and we have a lot of stories of just, because he would leave you voicemails.
He left the best voicemail.
Yeah.
Just go on and on and on, and we would have no idea what he was talking about, but he's the kind of guy you just
Yeah.
But my favorite one was he called you and he was like, hey man, so I'm like 90% done with the mixes, but I realized that if you mix them in an older version of Pro Tools, they sound better for some reason, and I don't know why that is. But I'm going to take everything and put it in the old version of Pro Tools and redo the 90% of the work I've already done just to get that. It's like, oh, man.
It's pretty rad.
This is our guy.
Yeah.
It's like a mad scientist.
Right,
like
Spoken like a true engineer.
Honestly.
Yeah.
fantastic.
It
Yeah.
sounds really, really good. I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, he was a perfectionist with that. He's like, I've got it, but I still need to add. He'd always just have these terminologies. He's like, I still got to add like the cayenne pepper and like the cumin. He's like, you're really going to be running in your pants. I'm like, okay. I'm like, this guy is wild.
I was going to send this to my parents too.
Oh, come on. Yeah, he's a hoot, honestly, and just
He could have been cooler to work with.
yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kept it real light and was super open to the changes and stuff. Like if we wanted minor tweaks with the sound of it sonically. I think you cracked Aaron's funny, man.
You mentioned the cayenne pepper and I said cumin.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll give him a
We're
chance.
chill.
We'll give him a chance to recover. Let's hear what that song sounds like.
I will be there, name the time and place. Want and needed, I set on the chase. I will be there, name the time and place. Want and needed, I set on the chase.
Such a great mix too, and it's weird just listening to it now. I'm hearing like toms like way in the back of my head.
Mm-hmm.
That's the BDH effect, the Brian David Harden effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great, honestly, working with him, and we're so happy that you guys enjoy the record.
Yes.
So harmonies, it's obviously you, Brian, and who else?
Drew sang some harmonies
Yeah,
on there
that one,
too. Yeah, absolutely.
It's nice. It's
Oh,
good.
thank you.
Just love listen to that.
That's the Eagles, in me, I guess. I love the. I'm sorry, guys. I love the Eagles. I love the Eagles. I mean, Seven Bridges Road. Just I love adding that texture to your music. I think it's always cool hearing those vocal harmonies.
I was going for Bach Chorale.
So you have some tour dates coming up.
Sorry, these guys are.
That's okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Kyle and I do that all the time.
Yes, we do.
That's why we have to go back in and poor Randy's got to go in and cut out all our bullshit. So you have some tour dates coming up, yes?
Yeah.
You want to talk about some of those?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're hitting the road starting not this Thursday, but the next Thursday, April 10th, we're heading to St. Louis, Missouri, playing at Platypus is the name of the venue. So we're really excited about that. And then we're headed to Chicago after that, playing at Reggie's Joint, which we're really excited about. I always grew up like going to Chicago, being from Indianapolis and stuff. So it'll be really cool going up there and playing a show. And then we have a day off actually after Chicago. So we're going to stay in Chicago and go to like Chicago Music Exchange or like, that's an amazing shop.
Yeah.
And then maybe do some recordings and stuff by Lake Michigan to do for stuff. And then Sunday we're heading to Cincinnati, and Drew lived there for a long time. And
Skyline Chili.
Yes, go Bears. That's my 90.
Yeah.
Midwestern. I grew up in Detroit, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm familiar with everywhere that you're talking about, which is also good. And you can feel that from the music. You feel there's a certain sound. I don't know what it is, but there's something that resonates and connects with people that are also from around that area, that like hard rockin', blue collar, like just gonna go throw back 8 beers and listen to something really fucking loud.
Yeah, really.
It's funny you bring that up because 3/4 of us are from different parts of the Midwest. So Ryan had mentioned he's from Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Drew's Cleveland, right?
Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, and I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And
Okay.
then Aaron's the lone wolf from Alabama.
Yeah. Oh boy. He's a good person too, though.
Yeah.
We'll allow it. It's okay. So that's cool. So you got those 3 gigs, or it's 3 gigs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Cincy one is at Northside Tavern.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And then, heading back home after that. And then we're playing a show in Nashville on the 18th at Jackalope Brewing Company. And then on the 19th, we're actually doing a Maynard James Keenan tribute. And we're playing a couple a Perfect Circle song, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah, we're running through those tonight, and then we have an East Coast run set up for June too, so we're really excited.
Have we? Is that breaking news?
That's breaking news.
Oh, breaking news! You heard it here first, folks.
We're headed to the East Coast, man. We're heading up the Big Apple and Philly and Baltimore and Washington D.C. and a bunch of different dates. So
yeah, that's gonna be like a week and change. I think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
a little over a week.
longer. Yeah,
It'll be in June. We're really excited about it.
Summertime tour.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's gonna be nice and crispy.
Hope we have AC.
Yeah, the run last June up the Midwest. We did Lexington, Kentucky, Alsbar, then we did
Indianapolis.
and then we finished off in St. Charles outside of Chicago. The van we took, it was this old Ford Econoline van, and the AC did not work in the back of the van at all. And it was the stretch of June last year where there was like this giant heat dome over most of the country. But by the time we took the stage, like in Indy, because we played, it was like we played basically in like a shed.
Yeah.
Like
It was a
like
microwave.
facing outside. At like 8 p.m., it's still like 120 degrees or something ridiculous.
That's
So hopefully, we're hoping for something a little better this go around.
It's a good thing we like each other.
Yeah.
exactly. So, if someone wanted to go buy your music, buy your merch, buy your stuff, where would you go to find it?
Yeah, I think you'd go to echopilotmusic.com. Got merch all over there. We'll ship out the vinyls to you if you want to buy a vinyl. We're on all the socials and everything at Echo Pilot Music if you want to give us a follow. Excited.
Also, come to the shows.
Yeah, come on out to the
shows.
shows.
Yeah, come see us. Come hang out.
Say what's up.
Is that probably the best way for people to support you? Come to the shows and buy the merch, or is there anything else that really gives you guys like a boost?
Bandcamp?
The only other thing I would say, Bandcamp. The only other thing I would say is like if you hear the songs and you know someone who you think would like them, just send it to them.
Yeah.
Like it just be like, hey, I think you'd like this, and like that honestly makes such a massive, massive difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure
Word of
any
mouth.
band in the world would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the DIY.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah.
the kind of, or like the snowball effect, like
Absolutely.
passing it on to the next person, the next person, the next person.
It's the waterfall method.
I played it at work. I think people are getting sick of me. So, I just keep
Oh man.
I just put it on. I just keep playing it. Just keep playing it. But
Love it.
it's been our pleasure to have you with us. If you could just stick with us while Kyle and I say our goodbyes to our people. If you just want to hang out, and we'll come back and just chat a little bit after. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been our pleasure.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot, and so happy that you guys asked us to do this, and glad that the music resonates with you guys.
Totally. So we'll be right back. Kyle,
Yes.
if you want to get a hold of us on Audio Judo, you can go to facebook.com/Audio Judo, or Instagram at audio_judo, or TikTok at Audio Judo, or you can go to YouTube, where this will be, and probably the last, 20 or so episodes?
Yeah, 15 or 20 episodes.
At YouTube at Audio Judo. YouTube.com/Audio Judo. I always do that. /, slash. Doesn't. One of the slashes.
It's a tiny icon of slash. Just.
And you can send us emails at info@audiojudo.com if you want to tell us something we need to listen to, or something I need to listen to while I'm walking that we could talk about. Kyle, do we have any shout outs for Patreon?
I do. So at the backstage pass here, Christian S, David W, Kristen K, Michael A, and Michael S, and Scott K. Thank you all so much. The front row seats tier, John R. Thank you. And Diane and Simon C, our UK consultant at the Shout It Out Loud tier. Thank you all so much. Like I always say, we couldn't keep doing this without all of your support.
Yes. So we have episodes coming up from, we move it around, Circle Waves, Fishbone, Genesis, and like a whole bunch more that I can't think of
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
3 episodes is enough. That's a month and a half. They're good.
Okay,
That's
good, because
That's
I can't think of any more. But we just want to thank the guys from Echo Pilot for joining us today.
Yes.
And again, go to echopilotmusic.com to find their stuff and buy their merch and listen to their music and support them, because the indie bands, they're the ones cranking out the music, and we really need to support them.
Yeah.
But other than that, we will talk to everybody out there in 2 weeks. And until then, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.